Hello and welcome back to another video. Before I get started this, I'd like to say thank you to everyone that watched the first video of 2025, which was a player made ship. This is the second video. Again, it's another player made ship from the same creator of the last ship, Martyr's Eclipse. So let's go and take a look. Right, this is the Posidon mining carrier. Your standard industrial cockpit on the front there. So you've two ways to get into the cockpit. You can literally just climb into from here, or as you can see through the cockpit there, there's a corridor that leads up to the back of the cockpit that allows access into it. I like the specs of the future thrusters on this. Again, I like these because of all the pipe work on them. There's nice detail on the thrusters, and it's a nice shape, nice and flat. No weaponry at all. So this is fully unarmed ship. Now, he said in the Discord that walking into the crew quarters was jarring. Also, found the drone printer broken, likely a bugged projectors, but still, that needs an upgrade. He said, and then there's the R detectors. Why did they have so many R detectors? Well, one, if you designed the ship and you don't know why it had 4 R detectors, how do I know? Or the other conclusion is this was an older ship that was taken from the workshop, and Martyr's redesigned himself and just left all those R detectors on. He didn't go into good detail about the ship on the Discord, so I can only assume, and I'm willing to be wrong here, that it was an older ship from the workshop that was refitted by Martyr's. By the looks of the ship, back when the Frostbite update came out as well. There's a lot of Frostbite boxing it. But anyway, I don't get why these landing gear are here, because if it's to haul stuff, you can I'll get me welder on. You can literally only haul stuff that's within this shape here. So if you're trying to haul let's say another ship that's bigger than this, that's like, or these thrusters have a 6 block burn rate distance on them, so they will damage blocks. I think 5 blocks out to 6 block out from the face of the thruster is safe. So you're not going to be pulling at and along with this if those thrusters are being blocked. Just saying. Well, here's your 2 forced R detectors on the back here. Anyway, so as we can see, it's purely ion. There's no hydrogen. This will not go on a planet. Well, it'll land once on the planet and once only. We have 2 assemblers on top here. No modules on them, which is okay. And we come down to underneath the ship here, and we have 2 refineries again with no modules on them. The only cargo containers on the ship are these 2 large cargo containers. As we come down here, as you can see, we have a little drone bay here for 2 drones, and these drones are running off a script as well. So I think it's the PAL script, which, as far as I know, only works when you're controlling drones using the PAL script from a static grid. So if you were to use the ship and use the PAL drones to go out and automatically mine and come back to you, you would have to set the ship as a static grid or a station for the drone to be able to come back and dock back up. Because if you set the drone off when it's a ship and the drone goes off the mine and comes back and you've moved even like 10 meters, the drone won't be able to connect back up because it's not coming back to the location it left. As far as I know, I'm not big on the script, so I'm not 100% on that. So feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But right, we have a door here. Why? I don't know. Because you can literally just come over here and walk around, and there's the door there. But that's that on me. So again, we've two spots here for drones. So we come here, you see another industrial cockpit. We'll jump in. This is obviously your controls here for the projector and the welder, and there's actually a grinder there as well. That's obviously to grind the pieces off that enables the projector to be welded up. Now it's bugged, like you said, so I'm not going to activate it. So we come in the back here. It's pretty basic in here. You have your reactor, you have a cryo chamber. It's not airtight for obvious reasons. We come up in the top here, and here's all your batteries on the left, thermal blocks on the right, and here's your PAM scripts here, PAM controller, PAM ELA. These sensors here, I think, have to turn on and off lights. And we have two more programmable blocks. So you have an airlock controller and an LCD controller. And here's that ship's main projector. And there's a good selection of batteries on the ship. There's plenty of batteries, there's plenty of power along with the reactor. And of course you have all the conveyor tubes coming around, hydrogen tank. But there's no hydrogen on the ship, so that's obviously just for in your jetpack. Or if you have a small hydrogen powered drone, this will also fill it. So you have oxygen tanks there for your airlock. And gyros. Now this ship is pretty maneuverable. It turns fairly quick. There's the top half of the projector there for the small grid projector. Again, all the old catwalks there, which are covering. What are they covering? What are they covering? That's a good question. Let's get a block out and find out. Oh, there you go. There's your gravity generator. That's all it is. It's just catwalks. Right, so actually we'll go back around here and we'll have a look at this from the underneath the ship. So there's your projector area there that will project obviously new drones. Or like I said, this thing isn't armed. You could actually have that set to project small grid missiles that would lock onto targets and do what they do, as they say. So right, we'll head through this door here. Stay with us when we use it. So you can see we have all these passage balls here that were brought in on the Wasteland. What's the Warfare update? These come in on the Warfare 1 update. Actually, they're a nice little block. I like all the wording in them. And we have our transparent LCDs there. Right, so here's your first airlock. Now he did say the airlocks were a little bit buggy. And that. And this is your control room for the PAL script for the drones to control the drones. So come over here. This is a little like I'm gonna say like a little mess hall cooking area sort of thing. And in here, and this is what he was talking about with the quarantine, he said he found a bit jarring coming in because you give the old medical bay plonked right in the middle there. You have a toilet and shower here, and just two beds. Yeah, two beds, two lockers, and the old air vent again. So we come back out here and we come up the stairs, and this leads to the bridge. Now, as you can see there, it is for a ship with size and what it does. It is a fairly maneuverable ship, as in it rotates. So there's room to add more gyroscopes to make it a little bit more maneuverable. Right, as you can see in the background there with all the GPSs, there's multiple ships there, and the reason for that is I've done multiple versions of the ship. So the first ship we're going to look at is my direct version of this ship with the little cockpit on the front, and my interpretation of the interior. And we'll head on over now to this one. Right, as you can see, I've got my favourite skin, which is the battered armour. And I've changed up the front. I've gotten rid of the industrial cockpit, and I've put in the new bridge helm. So sort of keeping similar aesthetics to the original design, with just the small little cockpit on the front and the huge thrusters there flanking either side of it. So I've moved the spotlights that were on the spotlights on the original were up here behind half a block here, and I brought them down and I changed it to the floodlights, and I have it coming out on the truss pillar, the offset corner. And I've changed out the antenna to the compact antenna, again paired with a cylindrical column. Yeah, so I suppose you could pair this, instead of with the cylindrical column, with the action relay, because if we get the action relay up here, it's there. I'll stick that in behind it. You can actually use the action relay as well on the ship, so I suppose it could be paired. It's a nicer looking little block than the cylindrical column. So right, I've gotten rid of the two ore detectors that was on the front here, and I've just changed it to one ore detector, and there was no beacon on the ship, so I put a round beacon here just to have a little bit of a mirror on the side. So I've also taken away the stair blocks, and put in ramp blocks. We come up here as well, so as you can see, this is all sloped up, paired with ramp blocks here on the top. Now I've taken away the sharp edges here of the ridges that were on it, and I've just sort of sloped everything up and down, then added a bit of greebling here with the little half slope blocks there set side by side, and a little bit more detail here, like pipe work running through there with the side of the pipe block on all of these ridges, except the back one here, which I did do on the other ships but never done it here. So right, as you see, I've covered up the assemblers here. Actually, I had to move the assembler, and we'll get to why or moved it in a minute. Now, as you can see, I added 2 extra badges in here, and I suppose I could have added 2 gyroscopes instead. Do you know what? We'll do that here now. We'll get 2 gyroscopes, and we go 5. Let's change them to yellow, and we will take that out, and we'll actually I didn't move the assembler. I left the assembler in there. I just had to rotate it slightly. I had to rotate it a different orientation. So what we'll do is we'll actually put the gyroscopes on each battery here like this. So that's 4 new gyroscopes on that there now, covered in that space. I'll do the same thing on the others as we're going. And we come underneath here now. As you can see there, I've changed everything out here to the corridor double window blocks there, so you can see out either side of the ship now when you're walking through that corridor. And the only thing I did to add detail here was literally just flare these 2 sides out here with those blocks. I've changed out the piston to the square piston because it's a nicer looking block, and that's the only thing I've done on this side of the ship. So we come along here, and as you can see, I've taken out all the Sparks of the Future blocks and changed them to the Sparks of the Future thrusters, and changed them to the warfare thrusters. You know, added a bit of greeble on the side here just to take the flat look off the side of the ship with the light armor slopes. And I changed these out because of these angles here. You know, it sort of looks a little bit nicer when the whole side of the ship is sort of sloping down a little bit like that, you know. So we come to the back of the ship, and we've taken away the 2 ore detectors at the back and just put cylinder columns in with an end cap on here, a conveyor pipe cap. And again, it changed out all the back thrusters to the warfare thrusters. You know, like I said about these, I didn't know what to do with these, and when I took them off, it just looked very plain. So I left the landing gear on the back of it because it's on the original. So we come around the side here, and you can see that door's gone. So I'll just put a passageway, the frame in, the passage frame in here, and I changed out all the interiors here to the corridor blocks. And we have the industrial cargo containers. Again, the reason being, underneath here, the parts weren't being used. I suppose, yeah, you could have, on the other one, if you wanted, you could have put turrets on them for a little bit of protection. There are spaces on the ship that you can fit turrets, but because the majority of the ship is actually only half blocks, my advice would be putting interior turrets spread around just for light protection. So we come up here, and I actually see, as you can see here, I've changed out all the interior lights to the interior inset lights. Didn't make any changes to the drone. So we come in here, and same industrial cockpit is there. We come to the back here. Now what I've done to the back of the ship here is I've actually moved everything down the block. So this ship from this point is actually 1 block longer, and the reason being is because I had to change everything around up here for the pipe work, because we can't connect the assembler directly into the cargo containers, so they had to be fed somehow from the cargo containers into the assemblers. So as you can see, it's connected up through the refinery, straight through to the back of the ship, and we have pushed everything from here, because all this here was typing in the back of the refinery, down 1 block and piped in with the armoured conveyor tubes, and everything comes in and it's all connected back through and joined together on the other side. Now if I was to feed this refinery the way the other one was, it'd be backwards, and you would have a connector coming over here into it. So I suppose I could have just kept it forward and kept the space at the back there and fed it into the back, but I decided to run pipe work down and under the floor and feed this from the underneath. So yeah, it's a little bit more of a little bit more room in here. I suppose we could put some of these blocks in here just for decoration as well. Just to make things look a little bit more worked on and in the ship. Right, so we come up here. Now, I didn't realise I've taken out one of the timer blocks. That's probably messing up something, so I'll have to fix that. So again, we have our timer blocks on the right, that'll be fixed, and we have our batteries on the left. I've changed these to warfare batteries. Now I've changed out all the programmable blocks to the automation programmable blocks, because they do look nicer now, in all fairness. And I've actually added in more cryo chambers, because the space was just not being used. It was just pipe work. Now the pipe work is still there, it's at the back of these, but every single one of these, as you can see with the green light, is plumbed up. So this ship can carry a crew of 1 down below, and there's 6 up here. So this can carry 7 people in cryostasis. Now, again, it just makes this part of the ship work a little bit better. And as you can see, we've added in the corridor sections here, just closing everything up. The corridor here have the projector in its own little area there. A light block here, there should be a light block there as well. And we come down here, and there's... Okay, so this ship has 2 gravity generators, probably because of the length of it. And I've actually added a couple of extra cargo containers into the ship. As a rule of thumb, what I like to do is, wherever you have a conveyor junction, I actually like to add a cargo container, because it's space that can be used in the ship. So we type cargo. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's now 4 small cargo containers on the ship because I've taken out up in this area. There was like 4 conveyor junctions. I've taken them out and put in 4 cargo containers because it's space that's being used, and if you have a block there that could be utilized for something, i.e. a cargo container, utilized for storage, use it. So that's this section of the ship. So we'll go down and we'll check inside now, and we come out this airlock. Now I've changed the airlock script that you had on the original ship to the whips airlock script. Now I haven't set it up properly yet, but that's what's going to be on this ship set up. This is all the same. Right, so come in here now, and this is the new mess area basically. Right, so the only thing I've done here, I've changed the cooker thing around and put the inset kitchen in here, and that's it. This should be white. Right, so let's we'll head into the crew quarters here. Things are changed around a little bit. As you can see, I've put the corner medical room in, and I've gotten rid of the whole bottleneck that was in the room here with the medical room by shifting the air vent from here up to here. Now everything is still piped through into the ship, so the ship is fully piped up. And this is your new shower and toilet. We've moved into the back here with its own little door, and we have 3 beds in here now. I've taken out the window there and I put another bed in there, so this is a 3-bed quarters now. And we come up here and we head to the bridge, and this is it. Now, as you can tell, I've actually pushed the bridge out 1 block, and the only reason for that was to put the sides on. But this block here has the same bug that the curved windows have. That is, even without these sides on them, it's still airtight. So you don't. So I could have, if I wanted, left this cockpit back here, right in between the 2 thrusters, which I wouldn't have been able to put the sides on, but it still would have been airtight because it's a bug in the game that it doesn't recognise this as an open space. So we come out here, out this airlock, and that's the 1-for-1 version of what that is. And I'm just going to show you what I've done. There's 3 different versions. They're all basically identical for the exception of the front of the ship, so I'm not going to tour the whole ships. So we'll start with the left one over here, and the difference is the bridge and the thrusters. So I changed everything out on the front here to the small warfare thrusters. Now what that does, that gives the ship a little bit less braking power, because I think it's 8 small thrusters makes up 1 large thruster. So you come on here, you can see now I've added a little bit of detail onto the bottom of the ship there. Actually, I think I've done that on that one as well. We'll go back around and have a look. It's the same, just thrown around. Oh, the one thing I forgot to mention on the other ship is I've actually added in yield modules onto the refineries, because if it's a mining transport and the ship is also refining materials, you want yield modules on it. Yeah, so as I was saying, I've just done a bit of the armor panels on it just to take away the squared edges that's left behind here, like on this side here. Not much I can do there. So just get rid of all the squared edges and just sort of blend the thrusters in a little bit better on the underneath the ship. Same thing on the front here, you know, just so you don't have too many straight lines. Right, so this is the bridge, the new bridge. Now again, I've left the old antenna on here. and we will go in. There's no point toward the back of the ship. Everything on the back of the ship is the same as the other ship. I am going to change out those 2 batteries, but right, so we come in here and we have the difference in here. This is the same as the last bridge, the last ship. In here is a slight bit different. I decided to just put this door in here. I suppose I could do that in the other ship as well. I'll have a slope straight through into the bed. We still have 3 beds in here, everything's the same. And if we go up here, now, this is the entrance into the new bridge. And rather than have a stairs, I put a ladder in. And we climb the ladder. And this is my interpretation of the bridge for this ship. So we've workstations all the way around it. We've inset button panels. We have the helm up here at the front here. It's a more spacious, industrialized looking bridge for a ship. Well, there's no gravity up here as well, so I need to get the gravity doesn't come all the way across. So I need to extend the gravity a little bit on this ship. But yeah, this is my interpretation of the bridge on this build. So we're going to take a look at the other 2. There's a slight difference on the inside of the front here, except for the bridge. Bridge is the same, so we won't tour the bridge on the other 2. So come over here. Right, so that's the change to the small thrusters. I've kept the large thrusters and kept the Spark to the Future because I think the Spark to the Future look nice on the front of the ship. On the front here, and I've only noticed that I didn't put any spotlights in this, so I will rectify that. I will put spotlights in on this version of the ship before it goes up. And we go inside here and we see the difference I have in this one. It's a slightly different mess hall because of the large thrusters there. I decided to push everything out a little bit and have the small little mess area here. In here I had to push the toilet and the shower into the room a little bit, but everything else is still the same. So it's still a fair sized room. And the bridge is everything on the bridge is the same, so we won't go up there. Now, in the last version, which I think is my favourite version of the interior, what I've done is I've actually pushed these 2 thrusters out to be in line with the front, because as you can see there, where is it? They are back up. They're back a block, so they're set back a little bit. So I thought, like, what would it look like if I push these forward to be in line with the front of the bridge? And I brought the slope down here onto the side of the thrusters a little bit, so reshape the front of this a slight bit. And what that enabled me to do on the inside here is to make a whole new mess hall / recreation area with your entertainment unit, couch, a table for 4 in the middle here, and your cooking area and sink washing up area. And we go in here, everything's the same here. This is the same as the very first variation across there. But yeah, this one here is by far my favourite. Interior wise. Exterior wise, I sort of like the angles coming down. I like the way the thrusters are now in line with the front of the bridge. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I am not going to upload 4 different versions of the ship to the workshop. What I am going to do is I am going to upload the world. So Mortis can download the world, and he has all these versions of the ship. And he contacted me on Discord, and what he's after doing with the last ship, the Astral Runner, I think was the name of it, the TTB 450. What he's at the turning my versions into 3 different sub versions of the ship for his little fleet that he is creating. So maybe if he wants, he could do the same thing with this. Now personally, I'd arm them up a little bit, but any changes that need to be made to these before they put up on the world will be made. So remember, if you like what you're seeing, give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below, and if you have something to say, just comment. Now hopefully, well actually no, I actually have gotten another request to have a look at another ship. I will have a look at that and possibly have another video out next week for that. So thank you very much, and see you all next week.